Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I'm your host, Mikan, and I'm here with the lovely.
Ichigo here. What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Join us this week for another episode of Freaky Friday as we discuss Gakkou Gurashi, aka School Live. Hey, guys. So this week we have another episode of Freaky Friday,
Freaky
and
Fridays.
yay! And of course, we will be talking about Gakkou Gurashi, also known as School Live, or is it School
Yes.
Live?
I'm gonna say it's school live because I'm gonna translate from the Japanese title.
Mhm.
Gurashi means like I guess to live.
Yeah. And now but the thing is
In
the
this
exclamation
case,
point,
the exclamation point makes
it
it sound
throws you
like it's
off.
live. It throws you off. But
Mhm.
I feel like if it was school live, you could go two ways. Like they're about to have a concert
Yeah.
or
Or
they
it's
are
like
alive at
recording.
school. But
Yeah, they're alive. Yeah, like they're literally alive. But,
So,
oh,
Imma
mhm,
say school
School Live.
live.
That's what we're
Sorry to
going with.
anybody that
Let us know which one it is if you guys happen to know. Um
if anything, we should just go with the Japanese title, which is Gakkou
We
Gurashi, but
should. Yeah, exactly. But, before we get started, here's a little background about the story for those of you who don't know. So, this story is about a carefree high school senior, Yuki, and it sort of follows her life as well as her friends. And Yuki looks forward to having fun at the school living club, which consists of the president, Yuri, the athletic Kurumi, the mature Miki, and the supervising teacher, Megumi. And also they have a cute little dog, Taromaru. The club prides itself on making the most of life at school, and there is only one rule the club members have to follow, and that is all members must live their entire lives within the school grounds. So just to start off, like what because I didn't really know I went in knowing absolutely nothing about this story. I didn't
Mhm.
watch the trailer. I didn't even know it was about zombies. I just knew that it had a horror aspect. So
Yeah.
when that first episode ended, I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna get good." Yuki's talking to herself. I was like, "Oh no, it's about to go down." I loved that.
Yes. So I've seen some debate about this show where some people are like, this is not a horror at all. This is just zombie meets kawaii schoolgirls.
It kinda in my opinion, it kinda is.
Yeah, which I'm like, yes, I get that, but at the same time, this is technically a horror. It has a horror aspect to it. It's just not scary in a sense. It's more
Mhm,
psychological because, at the very end of the first episode where Yuki is talking to herself and you
mhm,
see she's pretty much in a classroom, bloodied up and deserted. That is like the horror aspect. Then the story kind of takes a psychological turn and it's like, okay, they're in a zombie apocalypse. Everybody but Yuki knows what's going on, and they are basically trying to just deal with her and her emotions and her trauma at this point and just
survive,
live every
yeah,
day at school. Yeah, basically survive the
basically
zombie
survive.
apocalypse, which I feel like so this is my second time seeing this. I saw
Oh,
it
you
when
saw it
it first
before?
came out. Well, so I saw it when it first came out.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I rewatched it for this week's episode. And I actually like this anime. I think it's actually really good. The first time I watched it, I was like, without watching the trailer kind of like you did, I knew something was going on when
Mhm.
Kurumi was walking around with a
The
shovel.
shovel?
Yeah.
You're like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah, when Kurumi was first introduced, she had a shovel in her hands. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, something's going on with this shovel. There's no way this is an everyday like they're in school and she was walking around with a shovel in her hands and
yeah.
not getting in trouble. Like there's something going on. And then at the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, that's why she's walking around with a shovel. It's a zombie apocalypse. She's
Mhm.
protecting everybody.
For some reason, I did not associate this with zombies. I thought it was like ghosts or something. So when the zombies came, I was like, "What is going on?" I was like, "Okay, that's how they're gonna roll, alright."
Yeah,
I
that turn was interesting, but the fact that a zombie apocalypse broke out in the middle of the day while everybody's at school, that threw me. I was like,
th
"Oh,"
honestly,
because they're
a
stuck at
school is
school.
yeah, no, a school is like the worst place to be if a zombie apocalypse goes
Breaks
out,
out. Yeah.
honestly. Mhm.
Yeah. Straight up. Now, with each of the characters, I don't really have the only person to me that had like a significant character development was the main character Yuki. And I think it was because she was going through so much trauma with
Mhm.
everything that was going on that she had blocked out everything. She was like in classrooms talking to nobody
Yeah.
and pretty much living like every day was normal, which that was her coping mechanism. I get that.
Okay, so I love her and I hate her at the same time. These kinds of characters annoy me a bit, but I also understand their value in a sense in a world like this. You need
Mhm.
something to keep you going, and that was kind of her role.
Yep.
But I'm just glad that in the end, she was able to manage to help the other girls, by by literally calling all the zombies to go home.
Yeah, that
I thought that
is
was
so
so funny.
anticlimactic. There were several scenes
Oh my god, that
in
killed
this
me.
anime that I was like, "Really?" 'Cause, typically, if you think zombie apocalypse, even if it's not an anime, if you think zombie apocalypse, you are like, there's always that one person. Well, there's not always that one person, but everybody in any type of zombie apocalypse movie situation is either super strict and they're like, "Okay, we gotta do whatever we can to survive." Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. We're gonna be cautious when taking on new people. We're gonna try and find a cure, and everybody works together. In this particular case, everybody was coddling her,
Yeah, they were.
and because everybody was coddling her, they were the other characters are like, "Okay, we gotta do what we can to stay safe, but also we need to make sure that she stays in the world that she's staying in." Because if she has a mental breakdown while we're all in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, then we
There's
don't know
gonna be
what's gonna
issues, yeah.
happen. Yeah, there's gonna be
Mhm.
issues, and then everybody's at danger. So
I
I did
feel
like the fact that she stepped up.
yeah, no, that ending I feel like they did give her a little bit of a in my eyes, she got a little bit of a boost up, and I honestly think them keeping her the way it was a lot for themselves because they just needed, like, normalcy, and that's what she brought,
Mhm.
but I gotta say, I really I did not like how this ended. I the overall story, I was expecting I think I had a little bit higher expectations,
Mhm.
especially after that first episode because I did not see anything about it, and I
Mhm.
really did have much higher expectations, and it just did not meet them.
I wanna say the first time I saw this, I thought it was gonna get a lot darker than it actually did,
Same, yeah.
but for anybody that has not seen it, the show itself is not gory, so anybody that's squeamish or
Mm-mm.
anything, you don't necessarily have to worry about any gore. It is considered a horror anime because it has that zombie aspect of it, and there are some scenes where, they are attacking zombies,
It's, like, a little
but
creepy, but not that much.
yeah, it's not compared to last week's episode, this is definitely a step
Oh,
in
yeah.
the opposite direction of
Opposite
horror.
direction, yeah. I think
This
if you want
is
something
not
that's
scary.
yeah. I think if you want something that's cute and a slice of life type with more uplifting feel, but a little bit of a sprinkle of sadness in there, then I think this is good. But
Mhm.
if you're looking for something like maybe more deeper, like storylines or maybe more shock factor or even emotional things, I feel like this just isn't it.
Well, it had the emotional aspect of it because you have Yuki who is trying to basically cope in her own way and in her own time, eventually trying to cope with everything that's going on. You have Kurumi who is now the self-protector and the protector of everybody. She walks around with a shovel. She's going to make sure that all of their traps are intact, and she's always the one who is she's the protector role. And then you have Yuri, who is the president and immediately takes on a mother role. That mother figure, I'm gonna watch over everybody. I want to make sure everybody has enough food, everybody's shelter is fine. I'll make sure that Yuki is mentally where she needs to be, and even if it's just for that particular time, she makes sure that she coddles to her and she's patient with her. And then you have Miki, who is, although she is the youngest out of all of them, she is the mature one. She is the one who rationalizes everything, which is great. But she also, when she joined everybody, she was like, why y'all coddling to her? She
Yeah.
needs to know what's going on. And that's that maturity set up where she was like, no, everybody needs to be on the same page. Everybody else knows what's going on. Why is she the only one that basically
Yeah, it's like
is
living in
gets to
her
stay
little
in this,
bubble. Mhm.
her own little world?
And personally, so I didn't really feel for any of the characters. I feel like there was not a lot of development. Even for Yuki, it was like in the end, it was just like a light switch went off kind of thing. While if anybody, in my personal opinion, developed the most, it was Miki, who she kind of overcame her fear and then slow it like, she just got better throughout, and she tried to save everyone, or save, like, Kurumi specifically, maybe in the end, and was
Mhm.
super brave, and I feel like I could feel for her, but everybody else, I was just like, "Mm-mm," and also it just did not end how I wish it would have ended.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like either most of them should have died, or all of them all of them should have died. Like, the Yuki thing, I thought she was
Yeah.
sacrificing herself. I really thought that,
I
and I
did
was like, "That
too.
would've been really good."
I
But
did
no, she made
too.
them go home.
I thought, well, even in when at that moment where you're like, okay, she is sacrificing herself so that everybody else can go home and that, the other 3 can get away. But when Kurumi got bit, I was like, it's game over. She gonna turn into a zombie. She gonna eat
She
everybody.
should've. I feel like she should have been stabbed by,
Yuri.
Yuri, yeah. I
I
feel
thought
like that
she
would've been
was gonna
better.
get stabbed. Well, I thought if it was gonna go one of 2 ways. I thought Yuri was gonna be the one to kind of end her suffering, quote unquote,
Yeah.
because they did that flashback. It's like, if I ever become one of these, don't hesitate. Or 2, she was going to, as we see in a lot of other zombie movies or, zombie apocalypse type shows, that you always cut off the infected body part. And
Area.
in this
Mhm.
case, I was like, oh, she's gonna cut her arm off, and then she really not gonna be able to run around with that shovel. But where you see like her veins kind of going up to her neck, I was like, nah,
Yeah.
it's spreading too
It's too
quickly.
late.
It's too late. She's gonna. I like
Yeah,
how
it's too late for
they
that.
kind of made you think, okay, which way are they gonna go? I like that
But then they
aspect.
didn't pull through, though.
No, they
They
didn't.
just
But
Uno reverse, like, especially that magical cure they had, that vaccine, I was like, "Where is that coming from?" I'm sorry. How do
that
they
was
magically have a
downstairs the
vaccine?
whole time.
They
It was
even,
in
like,
the
made
basement.
for real. I mean, I understand maybe Kurumi, like, they were able, but they were even able to turn back Taromaru. I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" I thought he was gone, like, full on gone.
That is where I was like, this was very quick. Like, all of a sudden
It
they got
was.
a cure, quote unquote,
Mhm. Out of
which I
nowhere.
yeah, I get. They find that information in Sakura Sensei's teacher's lounge area. That's what I'll call it.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, there's a cure." So the school knew that something like this was going to come, and I'm like, first of all, that's a stretch. That's the stretch we're gonna go
That is
with?
a
Okay.
stretch.
Like, that was a stretch. I'm
Y'all are
sorry.
out
It
of
was a
school.
stretch.
How do you have a
But
vaccine lying around?
well, and the whole time they kept hyping it up like, "This school is so advanced. What other schools
Mhm.
do you know that has solar panels and a full kitchen filled to the brim with non-perishable foods and all these other sort of like there's water tanks, so we'll have endless amounts of electricity,
Yeah.
endless amounts of water. We've got food that, although for right now will eventually run out. They had a garden on the roof. Like,
They had everything, like, the plot armor was so thick, I was just like, "Man,
it was
what
really
is
thick.
this?"
It was really thick. I will
I
say, this
yeah.
one we probably should have started off with.
Uh-huh.
for Freaky Fridays and then went into another. So then
Like a
it's
darker
like,
yeah.
yeah, like you get darker as we go. That's what we should have done. Sorry, guys, we didn't do that, but maybe next year.
I still don't
But
understand why this is in the horror category, though. Like,
I,
it's a thriller, but
it's,
I don't know, the horror? Just because it's
yeah,
zombies? Mm,
I would say it's more of a psychological thriller, and the reason I say it's
yeah.
a psychological thriller is because of Yuki. That is the only reason. I don't necessarily consider this horror. I guess
Mhm.
if you were to put it in the horror category, it's like a slice of life anime meets horror. Boom, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's basically this show.
You know how this should have ended, though? Imma give my 2 cents here. How it really should have ended, alright? It should have ended okay, Kurumi gets free, bites Yuri, but Yuri stabs her. It's too late for Yuri, she's turning, they're both dead, and then Miki is coming out of there somehow, and then she finds Taromoto, Taromoto bites her, she turns into a zombie, and in the end, Yuki tries to bring all the zombies to her, but it's already too late, everybody's dead, but then she dies. There you go.
So she
That is
just
the end of
doesn't
the
she's
story.
not able to escape. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Or
Well,
Yuki can maybe escape. Maybe, Miki, like, gets to her after she sees the other 2 dead, and then she tries to save her somehow, and she's so Yuki's the only one alive. That's how it shoulda
I
went.
yeah, I honestly thought the way that the story ended, there should have been more. Like this the anime itself only has 12 episodes, and in my research with the anime compared to the manga, the anime only covers the first 5 volumes of the manga.
Mhm.
It doesn't cover everything else. So the story has
Yeah.
continued,
Mhm.
but you got to go back to the manga to read it.
And it looks like in the end, they kind of ended it off with an open-ended thing where somebody picked up the little message they had where it could be possible for, like, a season 2 style
Mhm.
of thing. So I could see, yeah, how that
But
would
this anime was made in 2012.
oh, yeah.
If we were gonna get a season 2, we should have gotten a season 2 by now, I would assume,
Yeah.
but there's some other anime we are still waiting for season 2, so
A
I can't really
lot.
say anything. Can't say
Yeah,
anything.
I don't see this coming out, if I'm being totally honest.
No, I don't see it either. However, I think it would be nice to kind of see the rest of the story be played out because at the end they give 2 options of where they could go to next. They can no longer live at the school, and they go from the school to either one of those 2 locations, to the one that's either the closest to them or the one that's probably the farthest but may have more food resources or something like that. And when they were making that decision and they were driving in the car, I was like, "Okay, so the nice little sunset in the background and the credits are rolling." And I'm like, "But did you guys make it or not?"
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like that was good enough of the story for me, and I don't know, season 2, I feel like there just wouldn't be enough for me to, like, watch it. Honestly, what I was actually expecting is something like have you seen Angel Beats?
Ah, it's been a while.
The way that ends, they kind of have that same slice of life-ish type of thing. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
thought it was gonna be like that, but it was honestly
Mhm.
nothing compared to it. And it was kind of a letdown in that sense. But
Yeah,
it has that happy ending sort of type of thing.
compared to School
Um,
Beats or Angel
yeah.
Beats.
Angel Beats, yeah.
I feel like Angel Beats is more emotional where this is supposed to be
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like a happy and like if they were to turn this into either a live action or like if it was a regular American TV show, this would definitely be a comedy rather than
Yeah,
a
I agree.
scary type of show.
Mhm.
It is good, don't get me wrong, but the one thing that threw me in the show, both the first time I watched it and then again this time because I didn't remember, was that Sakura Sensei was technically not alive the whole time.
Oh, I actually get you know when she was writing, like, that first scene like, one of the first scenes where she was writing, in
Mhm.
the bay I was like, "Oh, she's dead. She's either dead or she's gonna be dead." So I wasn't surprised when she was like, "Who are you talking to? Who's
Yeah,
Megune?" I
she
was like,
was
"Oh, yeah, she's
yeah.
gone."
Who's Megune? Like where is Megune? And then Girl turned
'Cause
around and was like, "No, Megane, you're still here. I can see you." And I'm
yeah.
like,
She's like, "Sounds like a
"What?"
snail." Dying.
You're not just invisible. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Megane ga shinda. I'm like, oh no, Megane has died.
I actually wasn't surprised. I kind of expected it, so I wasn't it didn't hit me.
Well, I think at that particular moment, it hit me. I was like, okay, this is more psychological.
Mhm.
Like, this girl has really
She got
gone
issues.
through it. And she's, because she's gone through it,
Mhm.
this is now the story of why she is the way that she is, like
Her
why she sees the
mental
bright side. Like mentally,
yeah.
she is, I don't want to say gone, but mentally, she is just so distraught that that is the world that she has created for herself in order for her to cope with the situation.
Yeah.
My only thing is, Sakura Sensei was only a teacher, but they kept calling her Megune, which in a
Mhm.
lot of slice of life, you have the students that get really close to either the homeroom teacher or one of the teachers, and they treat them like an older brother, older sister. My only thing that I was like, and I had compared it to another in this section, but I was like, why is everybody so bent on Megune? Like, they're all so attracted to her and attached to her, except for Miki, because technically she didn't have her as a teacher, but
Mhm.
and I'm like, is she related to one of them? So in the other person who was,
Oh.
you see what I'm
Yeah, the
saying?
teacher she was oh, so you thought she was related oh, I see.
I thought she was kind of related to Yuki in a sense. Like maybe
Oh,
she
no.
was like an older cousin. They never really
No.
explained their relationship other than she is a close teacher.
No, I think she just was very close to the students, and people just felt comfortable with her, and therefore kind of almost saw her as more of a peer than a teacher, and she did
Uh,
get in trouble for that and whatnot, and they kind of spoke about that briefly.
mhm.
So I think that's why they just called her Megune. Like everyone kind of called her Megune. You wanna call me sensei? You know?
Yeah. Okay. I saw the relationship. That was the one thing that I actually enjoyed about the show was the relationship she had with these young girls, trying
Mhm.
to protect them and make sure that they are safe. And even though she herself doesn't know what's going on, she's going to do whatever she can. And in this case, she ended up sacrificing herself to protect those girls.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
too
just
good.
really like the relationship that
Yeah.
Megune had with those girls. That was
With those girls,
really
yeah.
special. And that's also the other thing is that they couldn't make it like a super heavy story. Like they did, but they
Mhm.
didn't.
Yeah, no, I agree because I feel like the reason why it wasn't super heavy is because the moral of the story is something like bad things in life happen all the time, but that shouldn't stop you from, like, enjoying life, which was very
Mhm.
cute, and I feel like that's why they had this type of uplifting feel to it
Yeah.
because that was what they were going for, not necessarily like, "Oh, life is so sad." It's like, yes, life is sad, but you can still
Enjoy
enjoy
your
in a
life. Yeah.
sense.
Well, especially when Yuki gave that speech, it was like, we all love school. That's why you
Mhm.
guys keep coming back here, but it's time to go home now. And then you literally see
Yeah.
all the
They
zombies
literally go
go home. And I'm like,
oh,
yeah,
man.
I honestly feel like they should have tried that in the beginning. And then
Mhm,
when
just get
all
the
the students were gone, lock the gates.
oh, yeah.
But then we wouldn't have the
Yeah,
anime. It would
that's
be a
true,
quick couple of episodes and
that's
boom, the
true.
story's
You know what I
over.
was thinking? Yeah, you know what I was thinking though when this was happening in for the school thing? I was like, "You know, if it was work, nobody would go to work because no
Like Zom
like 90% of
100,
people do not yeah, 90% of people do not enjoy work.
point blank Zom 100, straight up.
Everybody's at their home or, like, at the bar or something."
I just couldn't get over the fact that he was so excited when the zombie apocalypse broke out. If nobody has seen Zom 100, please go see it. It is actually a really good anime. It's very enjoyable. It's really funny. It's like a funny comedic touch on a zombie apocalypse. I don't think Zom 100 is similar to school life in the aspect of you've got work, people who are working for a living, then a zombie apocalypse breaks out, and the main character is like, I don't have to go to work anymore. I am so
Yeah.
excited. I'm so happy. Compared to school live, excuse me, not school life, school live, where a zombie apocalypse breaks out, everybody's at school, and now everybody has to figure out how to survive. Nobody's really excited about living
Yeah.
in a zombie apocalypse. So the only thing that I will compare it to ever so slightly is the psychological aspect of it and how
Mhm.
people react to a zombie apocalypse breaking out. Like, you've got one person who's super excited because although there's a zombie apocalypse and yes, we're all in a dangerous situation, I ain't got to go to work.
Mhm. And he
Like,
can, like, start dreaming. He can become a
yeah,
dreamer again, kind of.
he can do what he wants to do. He can live the way he wants to live as long as he's careful and he don't get bit. And his whole situation is 100 things I plan to do before I get bitten by a zombie that he's going to try and cross off of his list. Compared
Yeah.
to school live, it's like, look, this is what has happened. We are going to barricade ourselves. We're going to protect ourselves and do what we can to live through this. And you've got one person who has been traumatized to the point of they have no choice but to live in their quote unquote own world in order to cope with everything that's been going on, because they want to avoid the fact that all these bad things have happened. Because
Yeah.
even when they go to the mall, technically, when they go to the mall and they actually meet Mickey, Megune has already passed away,
Yeah.
and Yuki has already kind of gotten into that mental space. And then they meet up with Miki, and the moment when they hit the movie theater and all them zombies turned around as the movie was going, I think that was when it clicked for Yuki. Is like, oh, wait a minute, there's zombies in here. And then she kind of shielded herself again through quote unquote Megune.
Mm.
Her eyes were open for a split second because
Mhm.
she either saw the blood or she saw one of the zombies get close enough to her to where she recognized that they were monsters.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting though? In School Live, they're trying to basically recreate and relive their past life where they enjoyed, school. But in Zom 100, as an adult, he's so happy and trying to get away from his past life of miserably working. And I just think that's just so sad. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
the the young kids wanna relive their exciting life, like, go back
mhm.
to what, and the adults in another anime just are glad that they're out of that life, which is a pretty good
Yes.
reflection of of life, I would say.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. I think the older we get, especially for our generation and generations after us, yeah, I don't see myself reflecting too much on like, I wish I was a kid. I wish I was this age. Some days I'm like, I'm ready to go home from
Mhm,
work. Is it Friday yet? Is it the weekend? That kind
mhm.
of thing. And I'm just being honest. Like,
When am I done? When am I done with work? When am I
yeah,
free?
yeah. And that is the interesting. Like, if we are comparing school live to Zom 100, that is the reality. Is he's so happy because he has been drained from work that he's like, look, a zombie
Oof,
apocalypse, I ain't gotta go to work.
it's
That is the
freedom.
best thing. If a zombie apocalypse broke out while we were high school students, I don't think we would have had the same reaction, even if we were in a safe space. I think it depends on each person, but I want to say my reaction would have been, I ain't got to go to school. I don't have to worry about school. I'm done.
Yeah.
The school is closed.
School's closed, summer vacation for all year round. Sounds good to me. No homework, no studying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might die, but you know what? I'm free at
Well, and the
least.
other thing, let me tell you something. The other thing is, Yuki was trying to go to class and was sitting in class trying to
Oh,
learn
yeah. She still
from
wanted to go to
Megane.
school.
Well, and she kept saying, "I love school that much." I don't know too many, high school
High school
seniors
yeah.
high school
Well
seniors, because technically
mhm.
they are in their 3rd year, they are seniors.
I mean, I guess
I
senior
don't
year in for me was pretty fun, but any year prior was because you gotta study, you gotta, do all these
You gotta get
things.
ready
It's
for the
rough.
next step in life, yeah, so it's rough.
Yeah.
So the fact that she was very childlike to where she was like,
Mhm.
"I love going to school, I love seeing all of my friends. I mean, yeah, I gotta do homework and I gotta study, but I love school." And then on the other hand, you have Yuri, who is also a senior and who I think in the second to last episode or the last episode, she was like, "I mean, I don't remember my school life being very fun."
Uh-huh.
She was like, "It's fun for Yuki, but I don't have any memories of my school life being very."
Yeah. Throughout her whole life, she just has that persona. She's just delusional the whole way through, you know? But the thing is, those kinds of people enjoy life the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have fun.
They just have fun.
I feel like this anime is a good anime to watch, even outside of spooky season. Would I continuously watch it? Like if there was a second season, I think me personally, I would,
Mhm.
just because I liked watching it the first time. I thought it was good, and I'm actually curious to see how, if they find any additional survivors. Was it
Yeah.
just them or that area that got hit with the zombie apocalypse? Do they find out how it happened? And, things like that. So I would be up for a second season. And I would watch it even if it wasn't Freaky Fridays.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm good. I don't think I would watch a second season if there was, unless somebody told me it's really good.
Mhm.
But I feel like this is actually better outside of spooky season. I feel if you're looking for something that's meant for, like spooky time, like October, this is not it. And I personally just I think I expected just a little bit more, especially from this type of genre, which is what I was thinking, like horror, psychological, because there are some that have done it really well. And
Mhm.
even added with the slice of life aspect, there are some animes that have done really well. So I feel like it just was missing something for me personally. But it was
Yeah.
okay. It was a cute watch, you know?
I liked how they played the characters out. I liked the progress of Yuki's character development. It was interesting. I personally would watch season 2 if there was ever a season 2 made. My only thing about the whole anime is they jumped to a vaccine.
Yes.
Like, not I
A
don't
big
even wanna
jump
say quickly. It was like, "We got a
out of
vaccine,
nowhere.
y'all," out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Where did that come from? That was absolutely I feel like that really kind of messed up the story a lot, in my opinion. You know when you're able to just immerse yourself in a story, but then something happens that's absolutely out of pocket and you're like, "What?" I feel like
Yeah,
that kind of really just threw me off where I was like, "What?" And I couldn't really get back in after that.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, it was part of the last 3 episodes, so
Yeah.
I was okay with it because I knew the end was coming because they jumped to that conclusion so quickly. They were like, "Okay, we
Yeah.
found the information that we're looking for." They read the information. There is medicine and there's a vaccine here. Why does this school have medicine and a vaccine? Okay, we're gonna go on a trip to go find it. Kurumi gets bit by Megune. That was messed up. I'm sorry. That I felt bad for Kurumi because
She
she
that
had
should
to
have been a
take out
moment of
weakness.
yeah.
Yeah. She had to play the protector of everybody. She played that
Yeah.
protector role so well when the zombie apocalypse first broke out and the guy that she was professing her love to turned into a zombie and
Yeah.
tried to attack her. And she then had to defend herself.
With a
Ever since
shovel.
then, she was like, "I will protect everybody." But she could not. attack Megune with that shovel. It was like all the memories were flowing out, and I felt
I
bad for her.
Yeah, cause she was bitten out of all the zombies by Megune, I really thought they were going in a direction where each of the characters were gonna get basically taken out by people they loved, like Yuri taken out by, Kurumi, and then Miki taken out
Mhm.
by Taromaru and etcetera, you know? That would've been so much better, but it
I
is what
actually
it is.
think if Miki were to get taken out, it would have been by the friend that she was with in the mall when they got
Oh, that would've been good too,
um
actually.
because she kept trying to find her. That I was
Yeah.
like, what if that girl turned into a zombie?
Mhm.
And because she turned into a zombie, she went back to the school, and that's how Miki gets bit.
Yeah.
Because she
I mean,
did
in the
kind of
end
see her,
yeah,
quote
in the
unquote.
end when they're driving away, yeah.
Mhm.
But she wasn't in there, so I assumed, "Oh, maybe she'll be bitten by Taromaru," but yeah, none of that
Yeah.
happened at
To be
all.
honest, the way that they set up
But
Taromaru getting
if you
bitten by
guys like
Megune, that was weird.
yeah, that was very random. Also, there was another dog, right? But he he
They never
kinda
did find
got
the
bitten
other
for no reason.
dog.
Yeah, they never did. They just left. They just said, "Peace out, goodbye."
They said, "There's another dog here, right?" Taromaru went to go find the other dog. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "So then was that Taromaru that got bit? Or maybe Taromaru is still somewhere in the school and y'all just left him?
No, I
Like,
think Taromaru
how
got
are
bit.
y'all 100% bit by that other dog?"
No, I think he, like, protected that other dog, or that's what they were trying to, like, say, basically. I don't know. It just kinda the end kinda just went a little bit wonky for me.
Yeah, they threw the other dog in there real quick, and then the fact that Kurumi was saved by the medicine that nobody had heard of until
The
episode
magic. If
10.
only real life worked like that, that'd be great.
If
Just
every zombie
magic.
apocalypse movie ended that quickly to where there was a vaccine found that fast, and then it
Magic.
turned somebody who didn't even turn all the way. They drew Kurumi's pain out a little too long for me, to be 100% honest with you. They were like, "Kurumi has been bit. We're going to go find the medicine." And they were naming off like regular medicines that you would find in a first aid kit. And then all of
Mhm.
a sudden they were like, "Tester, whatever that the name of the medicine was." And I was like, "How do you know that works on zombies?"
For real. For real. They'll just test it. They'll just be like, "Well, it'll be fine.
It's like,
It'll be
so what
fine."
if that wasn't meant for that case?
Well, she was
It
dying
was all
anyway,
too
so
convenient.
it was. No, it really was, and it felt rushed in that sense.
Uh-huh.
So, I didn't yeah, I didn't like that part.
It was definitely an ending for convenience.
It was.
That I was like, this was quick, but it was still cute, so I liked it.
It was cute, it was cute, and I think people who like cute stories will enjoy this. It has a little bit of emotions and a little bit of maybe scare not really scary, honestly, but
It
a little
wasn't
bit of
scary.
that and the cuteness.
Yeah, it was really nice. For Freaky Fridays, this was nice, but I also feel like we probably should have watched something a little scarier.
We need something a little scary, yeah. We'll try
If you
for something
guys
scary.
Yeah, if you guys have any scarier suggestions, let us know, because then
Let
we're
us
gonna build up our
know.
list for next year's Freaky Friday
Oh,
and
that's a
next
great
week's
idea.
Freaky Friday. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And be sure that you guys are following us on our social media pages. We are on TikTok and Instagram at Anime Sekai Podcast. And we hope you guys will come back next week for the final
Freaky
Freaky
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.